top stories tonight in Y News. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. appoints Senator Edgardo Sani Angara as the new Secretary of the Department of Education or DepEd.
The armed forces of the Philippines are intensifying their efforts to fight disinformation related to national security.
A House lawmaker calls to ban the operation of Philippine offshore gaming operators or POGOs in the country.
And we will discover why Donald Trump has been granted immunity from criminal prosecution as former United States President after Supreme Court ruling.
Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Tuesday, the 2nd of July, 2024. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. I am Bianca Quijano.
We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am Marvi Delphine.
First in the news. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has appointed Senator Juan Edgardo Sani Angara as the new Secretary of the Department of Education or DepEd. The President announced this during today's cabinet meeting. Nel Maribohok reports.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. himself announced on Tuesday, July 2, during the 17th cabinet meeting earlier at Malacanang, that Senator Sani Angara has accepted his offer to lead the Department of Education or DepEd. President Marcos emphasized how critical the role of DepEd is and the need for it to have a suitable leader to oversee its operations. According to PBBM, there is no dispute that this is the most important department due to its role in education. The President acknowledged the significant challenge in choosing the next DepEd chief and stated that there are many highly qualified candidates for the position. According to the Presidential Communications Office or PCO, Senator Angara has extensive experience as a legislator who has championed education reforms since he entered the Senate in 2013. His prior legislative work includes the Universal Access to Quality Tertiary Education Act and the Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013 or K-12. According to the PCO, Senator Angara has received endorsements from the Coordinating Council of Private Educational Associations or COCOPEA and the Philippine Association of Colleges and Universities or PACU. Senator Angara gladly accepted his new appointment as Secretary of the Department of Education. He expressed gratitude for the trust given to him by PBBM and promised to fulfill his new role at DepEd diligently. The lawmaker also stated his readiness to collaborate with Vice President Sara Duterte for a smooth transition at DepEd. Senator Angara completed his Bachelor of Science in Economics at the London School of Economics, as well as his Bachelor of Laws at the University of the Philippines and Master of Laws at Harvard University. DepEd welcomed Senator Angara's appointment as the new head of DepEd. According to DepEd, they are awaiting the new leadership while continuing to relentless pursuit towards improving the quality of basic education in the country. Senator Angara will replace Vice President Sara Duterte, who resigned as Education Secretary on June 19, 2024, with her resignation effective on July 19, 2024. Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Commission on Elections or COMELEC believes that the Senate leadership will not call for special elections to fill the vacant position of Senator Juan Edgardo Sani Angara following his recent appointment as Education Secretary. Dante Amento tells us why.
The Commission on Elections or COMELEC has stated it would not want to preempt future action by the Senate following the appointment of Senator Edgardo Sani Angara as Education Secretary. However, Chairman George Erwin Garcia said the Senate leadership may not ask for special elections just to fill in Angara's vacant post. He highlighted that it might not be prudent to hold special elections considering there is less than a year remaining before the next national elections scheduled for May 12, 2025.
Baka hindi na sila magpatawag at hihintayin na lamang yung 2025 national and local elections. Si Senator Secretary na ngayon, Sani Angara, ay last term.
Garcia further explained there's no need for a caretaker after Angara's appointment as the new Education Secretary because a senator's constituency is nationwide unlike a legislative representative.
Sa pagkakataong ito, nakadepende po sa leadership ng Senado kung magpapatawag sila ng special elections o pababayaan po nila na vacant na lamang yung posisyon hanggang sa matapos ang term sa June 30, 2025.
The poll body emphasized that special elections for senator need at least 13 billion pesos budget. It covers the entire country and even the overseas voting. Dante Amento, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The armed forces of the Philippines are intensifying their efforts to combat disinformation related to national security. They emphasize that the public should not panic or be worried, assuring that they have the situation under control. Jed Neresina details why.
Armed Forces of the Philippines Chief of Staff General Romeo Browner Jr. has refuted circulating posts and messages about war and the alleged presence of military tanks and soldiers in various parts of the country. He advised the public not to fear these misleading reports related to national security.
Hindi naman po kailangan magpanik. No? Dahil sa ngayon po ay ang masasabi po natin is that we are still in control of the situation. Hindi po magkakagera.
This statement comes amid an increase in fake news spreading across the nation. According to AFP spokesperson Colonel Francel Padilla, these false narratives are intended to erode public trust in the current administration.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines has observed an alarming surge in disinformation campaigns aimed at eroding the public's trust in our institution and the government.
The AFP urges the public to rely on legitimate sources of information, such as the Armed Forces of the Philippines, which are committed to providing accurate information to prevent panic caused by fake news.
We call on every Filipino to join us in this endeavor, fostering a spirit of solidarity and resilience against those who wish to weaken our resolve.
They advise the public to be intelligent and vigilant with the information they consume. The AFP also assured that they will continue to strengthen their capabilities to defend the country against any threat. Jed Neresina, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
It is timely to ban the operation of Philippine offshore gaming operators or POGOs in the country, according to a Mindanaoan lawmaker. Surigao del Norte 2nd District Representative Robert Ace Barbers added that President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. should speak out regarding controversies surrounding POGOs. Barbers, a longtime opponent of these operations, argues that POGOs have become mere fronts for money laundering schemes orchestrated by criminal syndicates. Rosalie Cos will tell us why.
Since 2017, Surigao del Norte 2nd District Representative Robert Ace Barbers has been opposing the government's approval for Philippine offshore gaming operators or POGOs to operate in the country. Now, the Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation or PAGCOR refers to them as Internet Gaming Licensees or IGLs. The lawmaker believes POGOs should be totally banned in the country, even if they are operating legally. Their operation is considered illegal in other countries.
Siguro it's now a time to stop allowing POGO operations in the country, considering na ito ay illegal naman sa kanilang bansa. Bakit dito sa atin pinapayagan natin?
Representative Barbers further insists that administration of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. should take a firm stance and speak out against POGOs. This call comes amidst the president's seeming silence on the issue.
Yung social cost of this industry was proven to be so high that it is not commensurate to the revenues that we are getting. No? So dapat magkaroon tayo ng isang matibay na posisyon dito. Dapat ang administrasyon ay magsalita tungkol dito.
Pogos are implicated in various serious crimes including kidnapping for ransom, human trafficking, extortion, prostitution, money laundering, and others. There are proposed bills already filed in both houses of Congress to completely ban pogos in the country. Meanwhile, Representative Barbers also challenged PAGCOR to disclose the former cabinet official who allegedly lobbied for illegal pogos.
Base dun sa aming information, kaya daw namamayagpag itong mga illegal pogo hubs ito, dahil merong nagbaback up na malalaking tao o influential na mga tao. And if the PAGCOR president has an information kung sino ito, siguro napapanahon para ilabas ito sa publiko.
Congressman Barbers further stated that it's time to reveal the identity of the ex-cabinet official involved in illegal pogos. He emphasized the need for this person to be summoned and investigated by both houses of Congress. Additionally, the list of legitimate, accredited, and even illegal pogo operators should also be made public, according to him. Rosa Licoz, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
And for the news abroad, Donald Trump has been granted immunity from criminal prosecution as former United States president after Supreme Court ruling. Annie Mansilla tells us why. Good evening, Annie.
Bianca, following the ruling of the United States Supreme Court on Monday, July 1, immunity from prosecution will be recognized for former U.S. President Donald Trump. He cannot be prosecuted for actions that were within his constitutional powers. The ruling, which was outvoted 6-3, rejected a decision from the lower court to reject Trump's claim for immunity from federal charges, that of which includes his efforts during the 2020 election. In a statement by Chief Justice John Roberts, it was concluded that the nature of presidential power, Trump as a former president will have some immunity from criminal prosecution for official acts during his time in the office. Trump celebrated the ruling on social media, writing it was a big win for the Constitution and democracy. However, current U.S. President Joe Biden denounced the ruling, stating that no one is above the law, not even the President of the United States. Meanwhile, this is the first time since the founding of the United States in the 18th century that the Supreme Court declared a former president's immunity from charges for criminal acts. Back to you, Bianca.
All right, thank you, Annie, for that live report.
Ukrainian shelling in Russia's Belgorod region resulted in the death of a civilian and injuries to 9 others, according to Regional Governor Yakoslav Gladkov. The shelling targeted an agricultural facility and the border town of Shebekino, causing damage to over 20 homes. Gladkov reported the incidents on Telegram, noting that Ukrainian drones were also involved. These claims, however, is yet to be verified. Belgorod, which borders Ukraine's Kharkiv region, has frequently been targeted by Ukrainian forces since Russia's invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. The recent shelling caused power outages, disrupting traffic lights, street lighting, and internet services. Errors by the Russian military also contributed to the damage, with reports of the Russian Air Force mistakenly bombing Belgorod 38 times over the past year. Additionally, the Kursk and Bryansk regions faced extensive drone attacks from Ukraine, targeting key infrastructures such as refineries and fuel storage facilities. These strikes aim to weaken the logistical support for Russian military operations. Ukrainian drones reportedly attacked 330 targets in Russia in June, reflecting Kyiv's strategy to disrupt Russian supply lines.
More than 100 victims and relatives of the attack by Hamas militants in Israel on October 7 have filed lawsuits against Iran, Syria, and North Korea. These legal actions were initiated in a federal court in Washington, D.C. James Hilario will tell us why.
Iran, Syria, and North Korea were sued on Monday, July 1 by over 100 victims and relatives of victims of the October 7 attack by Hamas militants in Israel, alleging the countries of providing Hamas support and demanding at least $4 billion in damages. The Anti-Defamation League, or ADL, filed the first lawsuit supported by a Jewish organization in federal court in Washington, D.C., making it the largest case against foreign nations related to the attack. The lawsuit accuses the three nations of giving Hamas tactical, military, and financial support. North Korea, Syria, and Iran have all been designated as state sponsors of terrorism by the U.S. government. Meanwhile, the missions of Iran, North Korea, and Syria to the United Nations in New York did not immediately reply to a request for comment. According to Israeli tallies, the attack claimed the lives of over 1,200 people and left 250 others hostage. The plaintiffs in this case are U.S. citizens who were injured, along with the victims' relatives and states who lost their lives in the attack. ADL Chief Executive Jonathan Greenblatt stated that Iran, along with Syria and North Korea, must be held responsible for their roles in the largest anti-Semitic attack since the Holocaust. In the event that the defendants are found liable, the plaintiffs intend to access the U.S. Victims of State-Sponsored Terrorism Fund established by Congress in 2015 to compensate individuals who have won judgments against state sponsors of terrorism. Meanwhile, according to Gazan health officials, Israel's offensive in Gaza in response has killed about 38,000 people and left the enclave in ruins. James Hilario, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
A swimming pool-like flood caused by heavy rainfall blocked motorists in Valenzuela City earlier this afternoon, July 2. JP Nunez will tell us why.
Several areas were submerged in flood in Valenzuela City after heavy downpour at around 1 p.m. earlier today, July 2. Some roads experienced gutter-deep and knee-deep floodings, including stretch from MacArthur Highway, Marulas, up to Malanday. Also, some portions of Maysan and Paso de Blas. In a video from Toto Talagtag, a swimming pool-like flood occurred in footbridge of Dalandanan. Motorists were blocked and it caused heavy traffic as they cannot cross the road. Based on the monitoring of Valenzuela City Command, Control and Communication Center or VCC3, 14 inches of flood has been recorded. According to some residents, it was not unusual for a portion of MacArthur Highway in Valenzuela City to become submerged during heavy rainfall. The flood, which occurred earlier this afternoon, subsided around 2 p.m. However, UNTV News observed that the drainage system was blocked with plastic trash.
Sinasabi po kasi nila hanggang bewang din daw po eh. Pag minsan po sobrang lakas po talaga ako kaya may bagyo ganun.
Opo, mababaw pa po yun. Kasi umabot daw po ng mga bewang dito yun. Normal pa lang sa kanila yun, pero umabot talaga ng bewang. Lalo na pag tag-ulan talaga.
The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority or MMDA previously said that one of the main reasons of floodings in Metro Manila are clogged drainage system due to plastic wastes.
The Philippine National Police has confirmed that they have identified persons of interest in the case of missing beauty pageant contestant Geneva Lopez and his Israeli boyfriend Yitzhak Cohen. PNP Public Information Office Chief Police Colonel Jean Fajardo announced the formation of a special investigation task group dedicated to the case. Lopez and Cohen were last seen on June 21st before heading to Barangay Armenia in Tarlac City to scout a property they intended to purchase. Colonel Fajardo added that police investigators have recovered a vehicle used by the couple's companion during their visit to the property in Tarlac. This companion includes a former police personnel who served as a middleman in their activities.
Kung matatandaan niyo po, nauna po tayong nag-create ng Committee on Missing Persons pero para mas lalo pong matutukan po itong kaso po na ito ay nag-utos na nga po ang ating Chief PNP si Police General Romel Marbil ng pag-create nga po nitong SITG at kasama po dito sa SITG ang CIDG na siya po ngayong nangunguna sa investigation, ang Highway Patrol Group, ang Anti-Cybercrime Group, ang ating Forensic Group at iba pa pong mga National Support Unit na natututok po dito sa kaso po na ito.
As the country observes a rise in dengue and leptospirosis cases this rainy season, the Department of Health in Metro Manila has encouraged the public to be responsible and do their part against these diseases. Gladys Tuabi details why.
Dengue and leptospirosis are among the diseases that Department of Health monitors, especially this rainy season, as it may result to death when not being responded properly. However, while the department is doing its part to prevent these diseases from rising, such as implementing the 4S strategy and coordinating with the local government units to practice search and destroy grounds, the Department of Health Metro Manila Center for Health Development has emphasized that the community and every individuals should also do their part.
It's not LGU alone, it's the entire whole of society, kumbaga.
But this rainy season?
This rainy season, lalo na.
More pressure on the LGU?
Pressure should be sa LGUs talaga kasi nandun naman lahat ng mga establishments. Pero pressure din sana maintindihan ng bawat pamilya na meron silang responsibilidad para sa kalusugan, hindi lang ng kanilang mga sarili, kundi ng buong komunidad.
Regional Director Rio Magpantay believes that the behavior and practice of individuals contribute to the rising number of cases.
It's a behavior again. It's a practice. Alam naman natin na pag lumusong ka sa baha, ay pwede kang magkaroon, especially kung meron mga cuts, ka-abrasion, sugat, dahil doon naman pwedeng mag-enter yung bacteria. Ang tanong lang dyan, bakit alam mo, bakit ginagawa mo?
Efforts of the LGU will not be enough if the community will not take part. In Metro Manila, for instance, through their information dissemination drive and coordination with LGUs, the region is among the 5 regions in the country which did not record a rising number of dengue cases. NCR has only more than 6,000 dengue cases, 16.39% lower compared last year from January 1 to June 22. Gladys Tuwabi, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
And in other global news, 3 military horses have once again broken free and run loose through central London, marking the second such incident since April. From London, United Kingdom, here's Joanna Ochoa to tell us the details live. Yes, Joanna, good evening.
Good evening, Bianca. While 6 horses from the Household Cavalry Mounted Regiment were exercising in the morning, 3 of the horses ran loose across central London, being the second time this has happened since April. The lead horse was shot by a London bus, which led it to become loose. Then another 2 horses became loose when their riders were unseated. As one of the horses was trying to avoid the traffic when running, it fell over and hit the ground and got up and carried on after it slid for almost a meter. Fortunately, with the help of the army to locate them, all horses were brought back swiftly and safely to Hyde Park Barracks by the Metropolitan Police. All horses were accounted for, with one of the horses having minor injuries with no need of further treatment, and no soldiers were injured. Meanwhile, the Metropolitan Police is still continuing to liaise with the army. Bianca.
All right, Joanna, thank you for your live report.
China's United Nations envoy has expressed concerns on Monday that the United States' targeting of certain investments in artificial intelligence in China is not conducive to the healthy development of AI technology. The official warned that such actions could be divisive when it comes to global governance of this critical technology. Early Briones will tell us why.
China's UN Ambassador Fu Kong firmly voiced out during the United Nations General Assembly that he is not agreeing on the draft rules that prohibits banning or need of notifications on some artificial intelligence investments and technology sector in the country that could potentially compromise U.S. national security. He also emphasized that the move will not be good on developing an acceptable and satisfactory AI industry. Fu also requested the Washington to retract or reverse its decision. According to Fu, the decision will just create divisiveness in regards to terms and standards being followed in AI industry. The General Assembly that had 193 attendees had drafted a Chinese resolution looking at improving cooperation among countries on developing AI industry. The resolution headed by United Nations is aiming to get the international community to make sure that artificial intelligence systems is fair and balanced, no discrimination, open and includes everyone, thus hereby promoting trustworthy, secured and safe business system. The proposed rules were published by the U.S. Treasury Department after an executive order was signed by President Joe Biden last August as part of action to stop or control China to learn the know-how of developing high-standard technology and lead the global market. Early Briones, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe.
10 more Filipino seafarers of merchant vessel or MV Transworld Navigator arrives at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport tonight, July 2nd. This is part of the repatriation of the 27 crew of the said cargo ship that was attacked by Houthi rebels in the Red Sea on June 23rd. The first 5 seafarers already initially arrived last Sunday, June 30th. 8 more are expected to arrive later midnight, while the remaining crew are anticipated within the following days. They are being welcomed by the Department of Migrant Workers, or DMW, and the Overseas Workers Welfare Administration, for OWA. The said agencies earlier vowed to provide financial assistance and psychological support to the Filipino seafarers who experienced the attack by the armed rebels.
The Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, or PHIVOLCS, observes increased gas emission in Canlaon volcano. Based on PHIVOLCS data gathered today, July 2, Mount Canlaon emitted volcanic sulfur dioxide measuring an average of 5,083 tons per day. This is the second highest emission from the volcano recorded this year and the third since instrumental gas monitoring began. According to PHIVOLCS, the overall monitoring parameters indicate that magmatic processes beneath the volcano may be driving current unrest. Canlaon volcano remains under alert level 2 since its eruption last June 3, where it emitted plumes rising to 5,000 meters. PHIVOLCS explains the current unrest driven by shallow magmatic processes could eventually lead to explosive eruptions or even precede hazardous magmatic eruption at the summit crater. The public, however, is reminded to be vigilant and avoid entry into the 4-kilometer radius permanent danger zone.
Newly appointed Education Secretary Senator Juan Edgardo Sani Angara has barred his initial plans for the education sector once he assumes the post. According to Angara, he wants to continue the streamlining of the basic education curriculum initiated by resigned Education Secretary Vice President Sara Duterte. He also wants to focus on the proper utilization of the education budget to address perennial problems in hounding the education sector, including the lack of classrooms and inadequate benefits for teachers.
Tututukan natin yung kanilang concerns, paglalaban natin sila, at yung siguro we ensure that yung budget talaga ng DepEd ay magamit ng tama at para sa mga benepisyo ng mga nasa sektor talaga.
Angara also assures that he will not request for confidential funds for the agency. For now, Angara is still confirming whether to resign as senator before or after his oath taking as the new education chief.
China and the Philippines are poised to unite their efforts and bolster cooperation in law enforcement to effectively combat organized crime. Chinese ambassador to the Philippines Wang Xilian met on Monday, July 1, with Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin, who chairs the Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission, or PAOC, to strengthen partnerships in tackling transnational criminal activities. China shares appreciation for recent actions of the Philippine authorities against illegal offshore gambling and the successful rescue of Chinese nationals. The Chinese embassy in the Philippines has actively maintained open communication and collaboration with Philippine counterparts throughout the said efforts. The collaboration facilitates expertise exchange, intelligence sharing, and joint operations, enabling authorities to disrupt and dismantle criminal networks.
Last weekend, wishers were treated to an unforgettable experience at the Wish State concert titled Send My Love. The event captivated the audience, with each scene and piece of music resonating deeply, reflecting real-life experiences. Gladys Tawabi reports.
The Smart Araneta Coliseum was alive with emotion as wishers experienced the latest story from Wish State, entitled Send My Love last Sunday. Each attendee had their own share of profound moments from the event, which was designed to resonate deeply with the audience. The story Send My Love struck a different chord with viewers, imparting valuable lessons that extended beyond romantic love to include the love for family.
Lesson na natutunan ko dito sa napanood ko na short film is about love. Siyempre, una yung career ba siya or love? Siyempre, mas pipiliin ko for me, career ang pipiliin ko. And ang gagaling talaga ng mga gumanap. Na-realize ko din na life is a choice. Take a risk, masasaktan tayo, di ba?
It's kind of hard to pick kapag babae ka kasi parang sometimes ina-expect nila na love yung magsasacrifice ka, na iiwan mo yung career mo for love. So, it's a big lesson kasi parang sa akin ay mas pipiliin ko na lang din siguro yung love, pero sayang, manghihinayang ka sa career.
Nothing of what you're chasing matters if you are not happy. Yun yung talagang naging striking sa akin kasi na-realize ko lang din na kailangan natin i-validate yung mga ginogol natin sa buhay kung yun ba talagang pinaka-importante tsaka makakapagpasaya sa atin.
Talaga, kamusta? What is it?
The lead actors themselves took away significant insights from the characters they portrayed, making their performances feel authentic and relatable.
Yung character ko dito, bilang hindi ako nagkulang sa anak ko, while na buhay siya, pinapakita niya yung pagmamahal niya sa anak niya, yung support niya when it comes sa school, sa lahat. So, nakakatuwa kasi parang ang daming makaka-relate dito sa wish date na to. When I was 12, nung namatay yung daddy ko. So, masyado ako, and ngayon, I have 4 kids. So, masyadong attached sa mga anak ko and I have a father figure. Tapos, parang hindi ko kailangan umarte kasi may anak akong panganay na babae. Tapos, same age with Kira, sa role na with Arya. Parang, napaka lapit sa akin ng character. Kaya masyadong emotional pagdating sa mga eksena namin, yung closeness namin. So, very touching talaga yung story.
Thank you pa!
Good luck, bye-bye.
Guys, I relate to Arya because I want to do everything to make my parents proud. I mean, I think, bilang anak, I think that's every child's, want in life, to make the parents proud. Don't wait until it's too late. If the moment is there, grab it. Bob, I study so hard, you know this.
Among the key lessons highlighted was the importance of timing in life.
Nakaka-relate tayo kay Matt sa part na may gusto tayong tao na hindi tayong gusto kasi may iba siyang gusto sa buhay. Lahat siguro tayo nakaka-relate. But ang takeaway natin doon, I think, is darating din yung right timing para i-pursue mo yung tao na yun. Eventually naman, for sure, okay lahat. Makukuha mo yung gusto mo.
And yung main story na pinaka tumama sa akin, siguro, huwag tayong mainip for love. Wait for it. Kasi in the right time, darating at darating din yan. Which is yung nangyari nga kay Madison. At finally, nakasal siya with the right person.
Are you okay?
Yes.
For Mark Ian Garcia making his acting debut, the experience was especially poignant. He quickly connected with his character, emphasizing the critical nature of well-considered choices to avoid future regrets.
I've experienced a lot of rejections. Doon ako makaka-relate. Maybe hindi sa love, pero in different aspect of life, rejection is not something na parang malulungkot tayo. I mean, it's valid to be sad about it, but later on, we'll realize na yung rejection pala natin is redirection to something else. I mean, nakahanda palang mas maganda para sa atin.
The emotional weight of the story was further amplified by fitting songs performed by featured OPM artists, adding depth to each scene. Wish Date is being brought to life by Wish 107.5 and KDR Music House. The aim is to impart meaningful lessons while continuing to promote original Filipino music. Gladys Tuwabi, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Our kasangbahay, as the world faces these trying times amid the various challenges and uncertainties, we are inviting everyone to join the global prayer for humanity.
Good day. I'm Brother Eli Soriano of the members of the Church of God International. I want to invite you to join us in a minute of prayer every day to pray for humanity and the whole world as we go through these perilous times. While safety measures like washing of hands and strengthening of our immune systems may help us through this horrible predicament, there is still no precaution or cure more powerful than God's mighty intervention. And we need His intervention now more than ever. It doesn't matter what religion you are in or what denomination you belong. This is an invitation for all the people around the world who cares for the future of their family, friends, loved ones, and humanity as a whole. Everybody is welcome to pray with us. For more details, you can check out the description box below. Thank you very much, and I hope to hear from you soon. May God bless you.
And before we close, we will leave you with the word giving glory to God. From the book of Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 10. It says, "My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not." And those are the reasons behind the news July 2, 2024. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. I am Marvi Delfin, live from Australia.
And because we need to know, we will always ask why. I am Bianca Quijano, live from Edmonton, Canada. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Baka hindi na sila magpatawag at hihintayin lamang yung 2025 national and local elections. Si Senator Secretary na ngayon, Sani Angara, ay last term. Sa pagkakataon ito, nakadepende po sa leadership ng Senado kung magpapatawag sila ng special elections o pababayaan po nila na vacant na lamang yung posisyon hanggang sa matapos ang term sa June 30, 2025.
Hindi naman po kailangan magpanik. No? Dahil sa ngayon po ay ang masasabi po natin is that we are still in control of the situation. Hindi po magkakagera.
We call on every Filipino to join us in this endeavor, fostering a spirit of solidarity and resilience against those who wish to weaken our resolve.
Siguro it's now high time to stop allowing pogo operations in the country, considering na ito ay illegal naman sa kanilang bansa. Bakit dito sa atin ay pinapayagan natin?
Kung matatandaan niyo po, nauna po tayong nag-create ng Committee on Missing Persons para mas lalo pong matutukan po itong kaso po na ito, ay nag-utos na nga po ang ating Chief PNP, si Police General Romel Marbil, ng pag-create nga po nitong SITG, at kasama po dito sa SITG ang si ADG na siya po ngayong nangunguna sa investigation, ang Highway Patrol Group, ang Anti-Cybercrime Group, ang ating Forensic Group, at iba pa pong mga National Support Unit na natututok po dito sa kaso po na ito.
Tututukan natin yung kanilang concerns, paglalaban natin sila, at yung siguro we ensure that yung budget talaga ng DepEd ay magamit ng tama at para sa mga benepisyo ng mga nasa sektor talaga.